Look at where you're standing, and as is it still my choice. Work is a heavy family pull, life is without warning. But the truth is in the quiet, when you catch your breath in the morning. Realign when the path don't feel right. Realign, realign when your fire ain't burning bright. Take a second, look inside. Are you growing or stuck in place? Shift your focus, shift your pace. Realign and reclaim your space. Hell slips when we rush, dreams fade when we stall, but we rise when we own it, turn a whisper to a call. In web3 or real life, same mission, same truth. If the grind ain't lifting you higher, it might be time to choose. It's not giving up, it's leveling up, finding the lane where your purpose picks you up. Every setback is a sign, not the end of your climb. Listen close, trust the fire. This is your time to realign. Realign when the path don't feel right. Realign, realign when your fire ain't burning bright. Take a second, look inside. Are you growing or stuck in place? Shift your focus, shift your pace. Realign and reclaim your space. So breathe in, check the map, place your feet. Trust the grind, you're not lost. You're just being called to realign, 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 realign.
Realignment is one of those words we throw around. But tonight I want to slow it down and make it real. In web3, realignment is stepping back from the charts, the noise, the drama, and asking, why did I even come here in the first place? It is not just about chasing the next pump. It is about making sure the people you sit with, the projects you back, and the time you spend actually line up with your values and your long-term goals. If it is not building you or your community, maybe it is time to shift. In everyday life, it is the same thing. Realignment is checking yourself. Are you showing up for your family, your health, your purpose, the way you said you would? Are you putting your energy where your future self needs it, or where your comfort wants it? Tonight in the dojo, we're gonna talk about all of that. Not from a place of shame, but from a place of ownership. How do we realign our time, our focus, and our circle so web3 becomes a tool that supports our real life, not an escape from it? If you are ready to adjust the compass a little, you are in the right place.
All the good stuff, but bango, 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 bingo, bango, and
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you doing?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
It was quite the roller coaster, but I cannot complain. It was good, man. Three-quarters of the way through, very good. Um, life lesson tonight. Don't be hard on yourself because even though you prepare for something and you spend hours with heart, mind, body, and soul focused on achieving something, and when you get to that point and then you do your absolute best and you crush it, okay? You crush it, but you don't feel like you crushed it because you made a couple boo boos. Yeah, that was me tonight. But the love and respect that I had, and yeah, it went well. Tonight went well for me. Got that behind me, and I'm locked in and so focused for Friday, man. I can finally just, feeling good, man. We're here Monday night
Bro, it's
spirits.
gonna be here
Fired up.
before we know it.
Oh, so true, so
Oh
true.
man, my kids are already planning like the day for Friday. Like, all right, what time's Cody coming in? All right, get out of school, and then I got to make the cookies for him. And Cody, no, they don't forget about them cookies, man. They don't forget about that. But
Man, I'm so jealous.
dude, oh, I mean, we got many more years ahead, so we'll catch many more from here. So this won't be the last. That's how I see it, but. It's going to be so fun, dude. Well, I'm glad you made it through, dude. I knew I had no loss of faith in what you were going to do, but it's hard, I mean, everyone can sit there and don't doubt yourself. You got this. But it doesn't make it easier. I've always said that.
I'll tell you what. I think what makes it hard is because of my dad's status and him sitting there in a high chair and he's looking at me. He's not looking at the other guys. He's looking at me. And then other people I respect. And they're looking at me too because they know I'm the son of, my dad. And I just felt the pressure and I was just like, man, it hit me there. But I appreciate it. And it was humbling, dude. After I felt, heavy heart because I was so hard on myself. And the top dog came up. He's like, you did very good. And just wanted to share that because, man, tonight was just so surreal, dude. This could be a whole space about it. I kid you not. So I'm going to stop. Let's pass this over.
No,
Thanks,
dude,
Bubba.
you're good. You're good. I'm happy for you, man. This was the day you had to get past and get through, and it was ups and downs. A lot of it was stressful, but it was for a good thing. A lot of the stress. So I'm proud of you, dude. I'm sure you killed it. I didn't get to hear it, but I am sure you just like here, man. It's we used to get off space and be like, oh man, I should have said that. Oh, I should have said this. I screwed that up. And we are hard on ourselves, and me and you keep going back and forth. Like, we got to stop beating ourselves up, man. We're here for a reason, right? Josh, how was your day, my friend? Are you at work right now?
Yes, sir. It's been a fun-filled day of excitement, man. Just been running calls all day. Not too much, but enough to stay steady. And then this morning, police had an interesting call that we all listened to, where they were like tracking down this group of wallet thieves and credit card thieves through the city. And I guess the people saw them, like the police staged everywhere, and they got skittish and started running. And it turned into like 130 mile per hour pursuit, like down our main street, which is like 40 miles per hour, going the wrong way down the street. Ended with a pit maneuver and rollover. They arrested 3 of them. It was pretty crazy. And then we got our new ladder truck in today, the one that I went to Stockton a couple weeks ago.
Dope.
It finally got here today. It's actually been in Oklahoma for like the last month, or that's too much, like 2 weeks. But our maintenance crew has been just eyeing everything, making sure everything's all up to spec. And they just turned it over to us today, so we've been kind of playing with that. And then I had taco soup on the crock pot all day, warming up for me. So I had a nice heaping bowl of taco soup to end the day, and a nice heaping bowl of warm apple pie with ice cream on it. And then I watched Landman. the most recent episode of Landman and finished my reports, and now I'm here.
Wait.
Full
Is
day.
season 2 out?
Oh yeah,
No way.
yeah. There's I think we just watched episode 3. Came out
Oh
last
my.
Sunday.
How did I miss that?
So,
It's such a good
What
show,
day is
man.
today? Today Tuesday or Monday?
Monday.
Brother.
Monday. So yesterday it came out.
Okay. Wow, I got to get on that. Thanks
Yep.
for sharing. And you're the one that told me to watch that show too, believe it or
Dude,
not.
it's so good. I like season 2 better already.
Man,
I'm
I
so
have such
fired
a
up.
hard time like getting into shows. I don't know. All the ones that people are like, oh, you got to watch this, and I start watching, and I'm at one episode in, I'm like, oh, this is good, and then 2 episodes in, I start realizing I don't have time for this, and then 3 episodes, I don't watch it anymore. I watch like how it's made and plane crash investigation shows when I go to sleep, and that's pretty much my bedtime show.
Yeah, I watch how it's made when I want to fall asleep.
Yep, exactly.
You boomers.
Dude, I'll get out like last night, dude. I was so tired. I got home driving all day, spent probably 2 hours after we got home unloading and doing dishes from the property and all this. I'm like, dude, I'm going to bed early tonight. We'll start fresh Monday. And then we hop on MJ and Rockspace, chatting with them. And next thing you know, I'm editing videos, and it's freaking 2 o'clock before I'm going to bed again. So never ends. But that's probably why I don't watch shows either. Just go. But dude, yeah, Josh, you always got an interesting day. It's always good to have you up here as well. Welcome in real quick, Margie. Well, Sassy's in here too. I'm losing. I had one request, but he wasn't following me, so I'm not gonna bring up anyone that's not following the host, co-hosts, or anything below. So just to let you guys know, we are on the Twitch as well. So if you guys feel like actually listening in real time, not delayed, Twitch and TikTok is real time. So you can actually join the conversation. You can type, and we can comment back and forth and kind of answer questions as we get along with the topic tonight. So tonight's topic, I'm not going to get into it yet. I want to do some fill-ins with some other stuff real quick, some interesting stuff. But tonight's topic is going to be realignment. What does it mean for Web3? What does it mean for projects? What does it mean for you every day in real life? So that's what we're going to chat about. What's up?
Josh, do you hear Bubba?
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I was muted. Am I muted the whole time, or did I accidentally click it?
You accidentally clicked it.
Well, that's weird. I don't even know how I'm consciously. So that was my subconscious mind muting me. But anyway.
This is too good information. Shut up, conscious mind.
Don't drop the alpha. So anyway, we are on, like I said, we're on the Twitch, we're on the TikTok right now as well. So this space is live over there. And the benefit is there is no delay to it. So you're hearing it live and you're able to comment live back. So go ahead, Cody.
No, I sent you that message, like the voice to text, when I was driving back on the highway there. I want to share with you real quick. So the guy that I was speaking with belongs to the same lodge as I do. Man, I respect this guy so much. So intelligent. And a month ago, him and I were discussing manifestation. And he's just one of those guys that just, man, he gets the language and he's so knowledgeable. And I look up to him, and he's just so wise in how he presents himself and how he, just very educated man, okay? And he's probably, I don't know, I'd say early 40s. And we're talking, and him and I are just carrying this conversation together. People are just walking by like, yeah, I want nothing to do with those guys. So tonight, the same thing. And I shared about that space on Thursday, and I shared about tonight. And as I was telling you and whoever else is listening here too, this guy does podcasts, and I didn't know that. And I'm like, dude, that's pretty cool. And he's talking about subscribers and everything and how his journey's been. And man, I'm excited. I'm just excited for tonight because it was like a preemptive kind of warm up mentally for me as I was transitioning from exam mode and tests and all that to kind of get into the groove before. Like, I literally got home 15 minutes before the space, and he's like, whoa, why? My dad's like, why are we in such a rush to leave? I'm like, I got things to do, man. You know, I'm busy. Monday nights, I'm always busy. Oh, yeah, okay. All right, I'll wrap it up. He's like, you've been sitting here gabbing the whole time with Paul. I'm like, well, dude, it's easy to get lost in conversation with somebody when you guys just get it, you know? The guy is like, what are you talking about today? I said, alignment with my buddy Bubba and other people in our community. And he's like, holy, what a topic. And then just like went off. And I was like, this is incredible. So I'm feeling warmed up.
I love it, man. Yeah, the space was awesome. I mean, I was able to catch a lot of it. Dude, I mean, I know you get stressed out and you beat yourself up, but man, you are such a good speaker. It's incredible to listen to.
I appreciate it, man.
You know, it really is. I mean, that's not blowing smoke. You know, I mean, I've always been a pretty straight shooter with you. With, you know, we give each other back and forth constructive criticism, and you know me, man, I I have no problem doing that for people because, you know, I think it's hard. Like we're making shirts right now, and the guy's like, okay, what do you think of this? And I'm like, can we just bring up this logo a little bit? And he's like, yeah, but that's not how it's supposed to be. I'm like, I get that, but it doesn't look right the way it is. So we're going back and forth, and I'm like, you know, I used to kind of feel bad. I'm like, yeah, I kind of feel bad. I don't want to bug them. But now it's like, no, I want it to be good looking, and I want it to be as perfect as we can get it, and we're paying for it, so why not? So, you know, obviously without being a pain, but no, that's awesome, dude. It's funny how, like, when you, I mean, I'm sure like Liz down there hosts space. Superfly, welcome in. He hosts a space, you know, 7 days a week. But kind of welcome in, my man. When you host a space 7 days a week, that's a whole different animal. Like I have so much respect. I couldn't do it. There's just no way. It's crazy. But it's like, cause I know like just Monday, we host our space Monday and we do Friday night on the streams, right? So we got 2 days a week that we're 100% obligated to. And that's purposeful. That is made to be like that because I didn't want to overcommit and fail. You know, I didn't want to overcommit and let somebody down. I may be letting my community down, or I may be letting my family down. So this was a healthy balance that was enabling us to keep a long-term relationship between my family.
I gotta challenge you.
Yeah.
I'm your man. I respect you. You're my brother. I'm gonna hold you accountable just like you hold me accountable. And when you say, you know, yeah, man, it's a different beast running spaces 7 days a week, will not discredit that. And I, as your brother, I'm gonna give you caca right now because you're like, you know, I can't do that. You've already spoke it into the existence that you can't do that. I mean, anybody could do that if they apply themselves. I just want that to be known that anybody, if they're really determined and they're
no. I lost it. Let's see if we can get it back here. Got to love computers. Oh man, are we gonna get back in time? Reconnect.
So sorry.
I'm
it's
back.
The truth. You're back. Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call you out.
I heard most of it. I heard most of it, and you are right. You are correct.
We can, man.
We could,
and
yes.
No, we could. What that would look like, you know, with life, and I get that with schedule,
yes.
You have a very full plate, but I don't want it to be like, oh, I just can't, and that's it. That's
no, I mean, you know, things change. We realign. You know, things definitely change. But I will tell you, the night that I'm rushing my kids out of the county fair to get to a space because I don't want to be late or miss that space was a night that I said, no, I gotta change something. You know, we gotta make it to where everyone succeeds and everyone has something, which is exactly what's happening, which is, hey, if you start hosting on Thursday night, well, there we go. Now we got a Thursday night covered. And then as we grow, as more people step up, we start growing that out, and it doesn't count on just a few people to do it. So
Monday, Thursday, Friday. That sounds good.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So yes, you are correct though. There's nothing impossible if you set your mind to it. I definitely agree with that. I just, like I said, that night at that fair really, really hit me. And that's kind of when we really changed a lot of stuff, changed the structure for that reason. You know, we were trying to go hard as we could and just squeezing as many things in as we could, but life be lifing. So I didn't want to do that to the family. All right. Let me get over to a couple quick updates and then we'll get going on tonight's topic. So I think we got a lot to fill in with that. Real quick, nothing crazy, but we did add in. So we have 5 albums out right now on Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok, YouTube. Actually, it was pretty wild. I was while we were driving home, I was messing with something and I searched Ninja Cat Forged in Fire. That's the record label that we have, right? So I searched that on TikTok, and there was actually a couple videos that people had used our song in to make a video. It was the same song. It was called The Grind, and they must have searched The Grind or something because it popped up and they picked it as their song to make their short clip out of. So thought that was pretty cool. When I saw that, I was like, you know what? I think it's time we upgrade. So we spent the money. As of now, we got 3 of the 5 albums in a affiliate deal, pretty much. Not affiliate deal, I guess you'd call it. Man, what would you call it? Wander,
So like
what's going on?
royalty or something?
Royalties. There you go. Royalties. So we do collect royalties from songs played on TikTok and YouTube. And also, if people listen on YouTube Music and they don't have the premium subscription, they have ads that YouTube runs. We actually collect from that as well. So just another form of revenue. So I just got done talking with Suburban. So I want to pick his brain. So I'm going to get on a call with him tomorrow. But we do use the Helium Mobile Hotspot, which we talked about earlier today. That's a form of revenue bringing back in. We got the Twitch stream, form of revenue. Now we got music, form of revenue. So these are all just things that are bringing something back to the project. And we're not relying on hype. We're not relying on people. We're bringing it back to us. You know, you can't. I've always said this: if you can't make something come to you, then you go to it. You know, or vice versa. But so I was excited about that. It's pretty cool to actually see people using our music on TikTok videos. And imagine just one of those goes viral. You know, one of those. It may not even have to do with the song that went viral. It's the video that did, and then everybody wants to use that song. Back on my TikTok journey to get enough followers to go live, I had to really study that algorithm. So I spent months, trying to get the followers up and posting videos and how do you get more views on the videos and just all this craziness. So in that process, you learn that music, the songs that were played, were part of what made videos go viral or actually got more views. So even if your video didn't require a song, let's say it was me speaking, hey, thanks for hopping in the stream tonight, blah, 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 and you didn't want music playing, you can still add the song to your video and then just go to the volume and turn that volume down. And you were able to actually take advantage of the algorithm because it picked up that you were using that song in the video, even though it really wasn't being played. So just little tricks that I learned from there, but one of those goes big, man, it makes a big difference.
True.
And I think,
an analogy, or not an example of that. The first thing that came to mind, and I know Superfly is going to know what I'm talking about. I believe the guy was Latino and he was on a longboard and he was drinking, what was it, cranberry juice? And he was lip singing that Fleetwood Mac song. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I recognize
Dreams?
Is that it?
No? Anybody?
I'm
Maybe
always
not.
gonna have to look it up.
But that song blew up again, and that's an old song, man. Like, that's 1977 maybe. Like, that's an old track. And that song blew up, like, all over YouTube, all over Spotify, all because of that viral video. So just kind of adding on to what you said. Yeah, so you got the thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Yep. Knows what I mean. Yeah.
Yep. Oh, and that's the thing. Virality is unpredictable. There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's funny. I brought up this point the other day to Cody because we're talking back and forth. We got Miami coming up, so obviously we're talking more, trying to button down plans and everything. And there's a lot of people that don't know about us. There's a lot of people we hang out with that know us, but they don't know about Ninja Cat. We're not big on, we're respectful. Let's put it that way. If the time is right, or if it's a shill space or whatever it be, yeah, we're going to talk about Ninja Cat. But if we're in other people's spaces, we are very respectful with that. We're not gonna weasel our way into talking about it. But what happens is a lot of the content right now, and I see this across the board, not just Ninja Cat, but just projects in general. There's not a lot of people here right now, and most of these people are, we're day to day with, but it's recorded space. If someone goes back and listens, maybe this will help you out. The content, it's a very tough thing to deal with, because you're looking at the hours you have in creating a video. The video that I made today didn't get a lot of views, didn't get a lot of comments, right? Probably took 3 or 4 hours to make it. I created most of the images while I was at camp up there, and then pieced everything, started slowly creating the animations as I could, and then was able, when I got home and had good internet, to actually piece everything together. Had to retake a couple, but it takes some time. It's AI making the animation and the images, but it's still the creative process, and it's still an editing thing. You have to edit this stuff out. You have to add the sound effects and and find the right spot to put it, and just come up with the ideas. So there's a lot of content when you go through all that. And kind of how I see it is, we're just going to keep pumping that content out. I don't care if one person sees it or 100,000 people see it. We're going to keep pumping it out. It's going to I try to mix it up. We try to do different things and not just always the same theme. I do lean more towards the dark, fiery stuff, because it's just my style I like. But I try to keep that in mind and be mindful to change it up where I can. But ideally, when the time comes and the name gets out there, or you're talking to the right person or whatever it be, it doesn't matter. It's like, man, somebody's going to go back and see, hey, you know what? Let's check this out. And they're going to go through the page and be like, holy crap. They got music, they got streaming, they got animation, they got content, they got all this stuff going, and it's like a hidden gem. I mean, I don't even know what the market cap is, 59,000 market cap right now, which is insane. We don't talk about market cap ever. There's a reason, because we're building. we're building. We're still in that stage where we're laying the concrete. Exactly, 100%. So there's just a lot that we have to do. Sir Trust, welcome into the Twitch. How you doing? So yeah, there's just a lot going on with that. So let's jump into tonight's topic, and that is realign. So we've renamed the space, realign in the dojo. Me and Cody went back and forth with a few different names, and realignment, realigning just kept coming back to us. And we've had to do it a few times with Ninja Cat. We've had to pivot, like that old Friends episode, pivot. Anyway, that's showing my age, but realigning, what does it mean to you? So I'd love to have some people come up and chat afterwards, or anytime, just request the mic. Actually, I didn't see Margie. I saw came up and then popped down, but for me, she's back up. So let me jump over to Margie real quick and say hi, and then we'll get rolling on tonight's topic. Margie, how you doing?
Hi, happy Monday, happy first day of December, guys. I miss you, Puppy Booba. I hope you had a good time bonding with your family. And Cody, I know you were in spaces, but I still missed you. Shit. Life ain't worth lifing if I don't have Canadian bacon up front and center every time I go to space. I'm so proud of you. I am so proud of you. I was in the States at actually I was with Superfly at 8 o'clock, and I was like pins and needles. I'm like, damn, I don't want to hit him up, maybe he's up. I had all the faith that I knew you were gonna pass, but you're such a damn perfectionist. You're the type of person that gets 100, and you're like, they give you an extra question like for 10 points. You want the 110. But I'm so proud of you. We all are. If you get a chance to go to the GC, man, I'm posting some sexy cowboys in there, because that's Cody turning up in our basso, because now you have all this stress. And I wanted to ask you, Cody, because it was last Thursday or Friday when I actually Papi Buba was the one that mentioned that you were studying Did you just start studying last week?
No, this has been about a month and a half now. Well, I mean, I've been, I kind of dropped the ball for a bit too, uh, with between hunting season quickly wrapped up. Blessed with having a harvest in the first week, and then after that, being locked into Web3, and then discussions in Miami, and I'm like, okay, well, I want to try and meet as many people as I can that I know are going, and I need to be present, and I need to be out there and talk to them because I don't want to meet somebody and they'd be like, sorry, who are you? Have we met in the space? Like, I want people to be like, oh, Cody, so good to meet you, because that means something to me, and I want to know who these people are that I'm going to meet. So, yeah, I've been locked in and doing my absolute best to be everywhere but studying. So, I would say in the last 2.5 weeks, I really had to buckle in and find time. And then if that meant staying up, I stayed up. So, yeah, no, thanks for your kind words, Margie. I really
That's
appreciate that.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Cause I know you were like in every space every single day.
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
was.
I'm like, Kilo must have been like nibbling at your toes, trying to wake you up whenever you started to nod. And after you posted, oh my God, you posted the graph of all the different levels to be a Mason. I was like, oh my God, this is not easy. It's not easy.
No, and that's the thing is, I mean, yeah, and I'm just like second step up, and then I look all the way in the top left, and that's where my dad is, and
Yeah.
and that's what made it. The pressure was on tonight because it's like, yeah,
That's wonderful.
yeah.
At least, come on, Cody. I haven't known you for a long time. Well, it's even hard to remember, maybe 6 or 7 months. But look how much you've progressed. And like I'm always teasing you, telling you you're your worst critic because you always push yourself so much. Man, in 30 days, we're entering into a new year. Look how you're going to be even better in 2026. You're only going up and up and up. And always remember that as a friend, I love you dearly and I wish the best for you. And, man, come on. I am so proud. I am so proud. Even like the other day, I was like, man, you're my little bird and you're jumping out the nest and you're doing so many wonderful things. I'm so, so proud. And I love you, Cody. Keep up the good work.
Do you know why that is, though? Do you know why that you've seen progression? And I'm going to tell you. It's because I've surrounded myself with amazing people, literally amazing people in this space that have been so supportive and really have so many different values and skills that they bring to the table. And people have just been there and been a part of my journey, and I want to be a part of their journey so we can all grow together. And it doesn't have to be finances and market cap and this and projects. It's literally personal development, personal growth. And to see people growing and people to see you growing, I mean, you can't put a price on that. That's as real as it gets. Like, there's no faking nothing here. I'll use this analogy. It's like going to a workplace, and every day you show up, you got your favorite group of people you're so excited to see, to have these conversations with, to hang out with in spaces, and then you're like, this makes coming to work that much more enjoyable. And that's the analogy I'll use.
That's a perfect analogy. I mean, I love coming to these spaces and I go down the list. I'm like, wait a minute, somebody from my family is missing. Let me go poke them in the DM. Let me go, let me get them up in here. Cause nobody can hide from Margie. We all have something to bring to the table, and whether there are days that some people will speak, there are days when people will be silent. But after you get to learn people, like get to know people really good. You pretty much, even if they're silent, you could pretty much know what they're thinking or what they would say at that point in time. So yeah, thank you so much, Buba, for having the space. I missed the stream on Friday, but you needed to bond with your baby girls.
Yeah, I know. I missed it too. It's I love Friday night streams, man. They're so much fun. But this Friday's gonna be even special, so we'll make up for it because we'll actually. I don't even know if we're gonna play much Call of Duty or anything. I'm gonna open this camera up if you're on the Twitch right now, you can see I've got like everything blacked out behind me. We're going to open up the camera and we're just going to hang out. Me, Cody, and then Trizzy will be there with us. So
3 dudes in the closet. Let's go.
Yep. That's
I'm
pretty much what it's going to be like.
I'm bringing Vino with me. I'm bringing Vino.
Let's go. Oh, I love it. Peanut, I see you up here. Paid up here. I'm going to jump into what's going on here because we're going to run out of time, but I'm going to kind of bounce back and forth. So you guys chime in to join in the conversation. We're talking about realignment. What does it mean to you? Kind of broke it down into like 4 categories just to simplify things. So topic 1, we'll just talk about realignment in Web3. How have you done it? How have we done it? And how has it helped or hurt? Topic 2, we'll talk about core values realignments. I think that's a very important one, and I definitely have a lot to say about that. Topic 3, we'll talk about home and personal life realignment. And then topic 4 is just kind of the wrap up and go from there. So we'll jump right into the first topic, which is Web3 alignment. So realign Web3. I know for projects, and this doesn't just fall under projects, it definitely falls under you as a person. I can tell you multiple times, take Ninja Cat out of the equation, I have had to realign myself in Web3 multiple times. You go through these spouts of who am I, until you really find your place in Web3, you have to realign or quit. I mean, that's pretty much how I see it. And for a while there, I couldn't figure out where I was supposed to be. I started off, outside of X and outside of Telegram and Clubhouse and all that. I just started investing in crypto with Robinhood and Coinbase and just the big blue chip stuff, the bigger name stuff. And that's kind of what led me into it. And then from there, I joined into a community on ETH 2021. And I love the community aspect of it. I became somebody there. I had people that we would hang out every night and we'd chat and it was just a lot of fun. But when things didn't go up and they went down, everyone disappeared. And eventually it just became, just a very boring place. So that kind of fast forward me to where, okay, well, this sucks. The communities just fade and everything falls apart. So I'm going to go solo and start trading on my own. So I realigned to the trading side of it and just was in and out of projects. I didn't care what the ticker looked like. I didn't care what the Telegram was, nothing. Just boom, I'm going to trade. I'm going to make money. I'm going to get out. I'll be honest. It was a good time as far as making money, if that's what I planned on doing. I just was so bored. I did a challenge to myself, 0.1 Solana to 10 Solana, and it took a week and a half. And it was awesome. I had 10 Solana from 0.1 Solana, just making trades. But I was driving myself crazy because I didn't have a community. I didn't have anyone to talk to. And it just wasn't me. So I left that life, I gave that life up. And that's where I found a jump back into a community and kind of got involved there. And that's where I met Cody. And then from there, we got Ninja Cat and the rest is history. So there was multiple realignments there that I had to make. I think the realignments it's not a reset. It's just a regrouping. It's not changing everything. It's just redirecting where you're headed. So that was my experience in Web3 for my personal realignment. But as far as Ninja Cat goes, I think our biggest realignment was when we brought in core values. We were able to actually align ourselves with the type of people that we wanted to invest and the type of people we wanted as community members and team members as well. And that was a big change. It was a tough shift, but that was one of our first realignments. Go ahead, Cody.
I hate to cut you off, but I really want to jump in with what you just said there. And, man, I want to use this analogy so bad because I know you'll relate to it, and I feel like a lot of the people in this room will. I think everyone can agree that when you want to align your path that you're on with the visions, your dreams, your manifestations, your goals, okay, it's important that you are fully aligned with the direction you're headed. Now, picture a car. If your steering alignment's out, do you think you're going to go in a straight direction to your path without a fight? Not really, no. If your tires aren't aligned properly and they're off balanced and wobbling around, it's going to make for a bumpy ride, correct? So I feel that if you look at these physical aspects in life and you apply it to, who we are as humans and the metaphoric meaning of the path that we're on, you can see some overlap from physical reality to like personal reality. It's pretty wild if you look at it from that perspective. So I just wanted to share that with you, that alignment is very crucial because your body's a car or a vessel and you're on this adventure or this road or the sea. You need alignment. It is very important because if you want to get to your destination that you're headed towards, you need to have that alignment. It's like very crucial for safety. It's crucial for ensuring that you're going to get there in a reasonable time. Yeah, that's what I want to share with that.
No, I love that analogy. I mean, I it's funny you put that in perspective because my wife's an RN and she knows a lot about the human body. I don't know much about it. I know what a heart is and a lung and a liver, but I don't know all the logistics of it. But I can relate. Every conversation we've ever had when she was a nurse came back to, in my head, just came back to cars. Your water pump is your heart, and just everything really kind of lines a car to a body. It's crazy, and alignment is perfect. It's spot on. And the big thing too is, just to add to that, is alignment. If it's not aligned correctly, it wears things down faster. So think about that with yourself. It will wear you down faster if you're not aligned. Wow. And that is the big part of alignment, is just you don't want to wear yourself down. So that was spot on, dude. I love that analogy. I love analogies too. So I know you were itching for that one, but that's a good one. That's a very good one. So back to our, with Ninja Cat alignment with the project. Doesn't have to be, like I said, none of this is specifically to Ninja Cat. What we're hoping is this relates to people in general. You can be in whatever project you're in, NFT project, token, meme token, utility token. It doesn't matter. It just comes down to bettering yourself in the space and finding your true place. That's what took me a long time to do, and almost came down to the point, hey, I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna quit. I'm done. This place is not for me. I'm not changing my colors, and I almost left. And finally, kind of what brought me back was, I don't give up. That's really what it comes down to. I'm not a quitter. So people telling me it can't happen just made me fight harder for it to happen. So that's pretty much that. So that was our biggest alignment at the beginning, was just shifting our core values, finding our core values, creating our core values. And we'll touch on that next topic. But I think with that, with projects, if you look at a lot of projects out there, I don't think most projects started and are where they are exactly how they started. And I mean that by roadmaps and white papers and everything else. I feel like there's always some kind of alignment, some kind of change that happens for the better for the most part. Could be for the worse too. But things don't always start off as the final product or even as a middle line product. I mean, Doge is a prime example, and we can talk about, recently we've obviously connected good with Doginal dogs, and that's been an interesting project to study and watch. I think for me, that's the biggest thing that I take from it is what are they doing that we can work with? What can we not? What do we maybe not want to do? I mean, just because they're successful doesn't mean it works for everybody. And we're not really copycats, but I definitely study people that have succeeded or projects that have succeeded or anything. I mean, we put ourselves around those people for that reason, because we want to be better. But a prime example there is that was not created. What you see now is not what it was created at the beginning. It has changed to that, is evolved into what it is now. And that's the vision that I see, is like people are saying, okay, what's the end game? There's no end game to that. There's no end game to where it could go. It could go wherever we want to take it, however far and however long we want to take it. That's the end game. I mean, I never did get that question, but I see so much potential throughout. I mean, just everything that we do, there's just a whole nother layer to it. Like we think we're at our top of the game with this. It's like, oh man, we just figured this out, man. This is awesome. This is like, man, like something I've never seen before. And then in a month or two, we top that, we double that, we make something that's so much more epic than that. And it's like, man, you look back and you start thinking, hey, we thought that was the best, but this is the best. You know, Cody's always talked about in training and stuff. It's like, okay, when you think you've reached the top, you've reached your limit, that's it. And then you push that little bit more. How much farther can you push? That's what we do every day, you know, and with content, with music, with streaming. And I think the big part with that is changing your mindset to longevity, changing your mindset to look further out than a week or 2 weeks. And I've said this almost every space because it's so important that you can't lose sight of what's happening here. You know, Suburban Crypto has been in my head just constantly since I've met him and heard him talk. And I see somebody who looks at a penny and say, it's a penny I didn't have. Okay, to some people it's a penny. Throw it out, put it in a jar, whatever you want to do with it. But to him, it's a penny I didn't have. And that penny in 100 days, 100 more pennies is $1. And that dollar in 100 more days is 100, you know. And that's kind of how that mindset shifts, where you look at the long-term thing. I said something to Cody the other day. Coca-Cola. I don't know how many Cokes they sell in a day or a year. It's a ton. But their first year in business, they sold 3,600 Cokes. That's it. That's all they sold. Coca-Cola, the big company. You know, and that's always been how I see things, is like, okay, you can look at it and say, well, okay, you've done streaming, but what's that really done for you? Okay, you've got music, but you only made what? A few bucks off of it in a few days. You do the mobile hotspots to bring revenue back, but that's only giving you like $20. Okay, but talk to me in a year. Come back and talk to me in a year. Come back and talk to me in 2 years, and let's see where all that goes. Because in 2 years, all that will have amplified, but on top of that, we've now added and added and added, and we just kept going. So there is a massive, massive change when you can change your mindset and look farther out. Go ahead, Cody. Just jump in anytime. Just hop in. You don't need to raise your hand, dude.
I think my hand was stuck up, brother.
Oh, was it? Okay. Well, it like popped back up. So.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, that is weird. A2 Ice, we're going to hold requests for right this second, bud, but I'll get you up at the end, okay? So anyway, so that's, I think, with Web3, you really have to find your place in Web3. You know, I know a lot of people that just like trading, and some people can do community and they can do the trading and they can mix and match. I couldn't stare at charts all day long. I just couldn't do it. My time is limited. So I know for me, it's like maybe if that was my day job and then community doing night, yeah, it might be a little different, but it is very tough. And it's just something I didn't get enjoyment out of. And I definitely don't want to be doing something I don't enjoy. So I am here doing what I love to do. And it doesn't make it feel like work when you're doing that. So find your place. And if you need to shift, if you need to realign, then that's what you have to figure out. Where do you need to shift to? And what changes do you need to make that happen? I know we're going to have a million more shifts, a million more, alignments coming up in our future. It's going to happen. We have to evolve to it. I've been hearing lately, a lot of people are, meme coins aren't it anymore. Community won't cut it anymore, and slowly we're shifting back to this utility phase, which we shifted away from just because there were so many false promises. And you know what? That may be what's happening. And then eventually we'll shift right back out of that and fall right back into the memes and the things that make no sense at all. And it's just going to be ever evolving up and down, up and down. So you have to be able to look at that and say, okay, what is something we can do different? That's the first thing. And what is something that we have to try to keep with the times? That's one of the most important things there. So for us, one thing was to focus on bringing revenue back to the project, rather than focus on merchandise that, there's some good merchandise out there, so I'm not knocking it. But for the most part, like the first merchandise, just the generic Ninja Cat stuff with like a big square on your chest, it just, I didn't even buy it. And I'm like, man, if I don't buy it, no one else is going to buy it. Maybe you'll get a support buy and that's about it, but no one's going to wear it. I don't want someone spending their money buying something to support us that they're not going to wear. So let's slow it down. Let's hold it back. Let's find some good vendors that can work with us, build a relationship with them. And that's what we've been doing. So I've put 3 orders in now with hats. And so far I've been very happy finding that company. I got one on right now. If you're on the Twitch, you can see it. Our t-shirts now, we've got a great relationship with that guy and the print company. And it's a personal relationship. It's not a corporate big company. It's on a level I'm texting and FaceTiming, and that's, now we're able to actually bring a product that people not only would be proud to wear, but you could wear it out and not feel like you're just like a beacon of weirdness out there with some crazy stuff all over your shirt. It's just a nice, simple design. So that's just some of the stuff that we've had to realign and had to change. Anybody else got anything on the topic of realigning for Web3? Peanut, you want to add anything? Josh?
Yeah, I'll add something. As cheesy as it sounds, because we're in a Ninja Cat dojo, like Ninja Cat was my realignment. For so long I was chasing all the wrong people and I was hanging on their every word, just chasing these big accounts that were mostly fake followers and farming and this and that. And I'm learning more about that stuff now, actually through you guys, really. But I wasted so much time and money chasing all of these fake people with these fake promises. And like, at first I actually believed everything they were saying. And it's just like, this is the next big thing. You don't want to miss this, generational wealth, all the little keywords that everybody says. And then the more and more money I lost, and I just kept making excuses like, oh, well, it only failed because this thing happened or that thing happened. Then I started realizing a lot of these things that were actually happening, but I still kept pumping my money in of like the what if this is the one and I'll make all my money back and all that stuff. And it was until I found Ninja Cat. I was never part of any community until Ninja Cat. And I mean, it goes so far beyond the money at this point. Like, I could lose everything. It doesn't even matter to me at this point with the money stuff. I've learned so much from you guys, and I've gained friendships that are invaluable. And like, I consistently grow with the communities that are built through Ninja Cat and all these different people that are the right people, because I'm not chasing people for the little quick fix. This is the one that's going to make all the money. No, we're building things from the ground up the right way, and we're going to find the right people and do this together. It doesn't matter how long it takes, and it doesn't matter how much money we make, how quickly, because we're gaining so much more than money in the process. So I feel like I repeated myself several times, but I think you guys get the point.
That's what that deserved right there. Little hand clap at the end. You nailed it. That's exactly. That's what I think all of us feel that came into this and are here now. That's exactly how we feel. We're no different than you or Vina or anybody else in this community that's been here this whole time.
Could I summarize that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to summarize what Josh said, something that really kind of, it's come up in conversation quite a few times. And if I was to summarize what he said, all of that in like a sentence, Alignment is momentum you don't have to force. The right people, the timing, and the opportunity start showing up. If you just pause and look around, you'll see, okay, I'm not forcing anything, and I'm not like, I have no expectations. I'm showing up, and if I jive with these people, and people use the word click, if you click with them, or finding your tribe or your community, you'll know when they're your people. And it's not the people that are making false promises, it's the people that are building, working. You're learning from them, and they are learning from you. I feel ultimately that's what community is about at this point. So when you look at it from that perspective, and that's what I gathered immediately from what Josh said, it's the right people, it's the timing, and with those combined, opportunities start showing up. And then you get into the whole subject of networking and yeti yeti. But yeah, I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, man, I'm just so used to getting farmed by everybody, and I just believe everything they say because they've got these quote unquote big followings that are mostly fake. And it was refreshing to meet you guys, and you barely ever talk about market cap. You don't say buy this, buy that, do it now, generation, all these little buzzwords and stuff, which I was guilty of saying at first whenever I
Yeah,
joined
with you.
NinjaCat, and yeah, whenever I'm trying to show NinjaCat to people, I'm using all these same buzzwords and stuff, probably looking like the same people that I'm ranting about right now. Um, but I had to just kind of take a step back and realize what really matters, and realign myself with the right things. And I feel so much better now that I'm not just this little anxiety ball chasing all this stuff just to be people's exit liquidity, with all their little false promises. And then it's like, well, this is the right one. This is the right one. And then it's just a revolving door of the next thing, while the last this is the right one is dead again. So
It's so
happy to
true,
find you
dude.
guys.
No, man, I'm grateful that our paths crossed. And again, that's, I don't know, people call me hippie or whatever. I don't know. I just, lately in the past, I guess, year, I'll say, realistically, I've kind of had a spiritual awakening in my journey in the course of my life. And I question a lot of things, and it doesn't have to be bad things. It can be good things, and I question it. I'm like, well, why is that? Okay, well, why is this happening? Okay, well, these good people have come in my life. Why is that? What did I do to deserve that? And I start to look at it from a different lens or a different optic, and I zoom out to get a better understanding of what am I doing right, or what are we doing right, that we have these things happening that's a form of an alignment. And when you start to understand this alignment that you're constructing, that you're building, and it's becoming more precise. It's forming precision. We'll call it that. It gives you that reassurance that you're moving on a very good path, and it just makes you feel motivated. And if I can, real quick, it took, honestly, man, Baba to go out in spaces, myself to go out in spaces and move, and sometimes in tandem and sometimes separately in different communities, and move around and kind of understand and get a feel of the culture, what's current. Man, web3 moves so fast. What's hot, what's not, this and that. And like chill spaces, are they useful? I believe they're useful, but there's a time and place for those. I just feel like if you're not moving around and you're not educating yourself, being in the right places at the right time, not everyone has to do that. And if you have a leader or someone that you look up to or somebody you trust, if they're a good friend or a good leader, they'll share the information they learn with you. Not everyone has the time available and accessible to them. I feel like it's a leadership role and a good friend's role to say, hey, man, I learned this XYZ. I feel like you could maybe benefit from this. I care about you, and I want to share what I learned with you today. So going out in the spaces, meeting and networking with people, and understanding like, wow, the value of community that's alpha, bro. The alpha is community. I'm telling you. And it's so funny because when I look back and people would ask in the shell space, okay, well, what's your utility? every time Bubba and I would be like, community. And I'm like, is that enough? And then I go out and I see big projects, man, and they're massive communities. They thrive on community. I'm like, yes, thank you. That's an alignment. Because the vision and goal that we had in the beginning, and we go out and we see that it's possible, and people are doing exactly what we seen in the beginning, man, that's fascinating. And the fact that all that we went through is an alignment from point A to point B. If you look at it like that and you start to question why, it's unreal, man. It just blows my mind.
That's spot on. Going back to, like you were saying, with communities, we look at successful communities, and I can tell you the one key piece. If you guys want to take away any alpha from tonight, I'm getting ready to drop it. So everybody, listen up real quick. The one key piece that has made, if you see a successful project out there, and they made it, and they have big community, big market cap, big whatever you're looking for in a community, you feel like they were successful. The one thing that they did, they never gave up. Somebody never gave up. That's what it came down to. We have television because somebody didn't give up. We have automobiles because somebody didn't give up. We have computers. We have anything that pretty much is ever invented didn't just happen. Hey, I have an idea. Here's what I'm going to do. Boom, I built it, and here's a product. It didn't happen like that. It happened because somebody had the idea. Somebody was probably told a million times it's not going to work. You can't do it, yada, yada, yada. And they kept going, and they kept going, and they kept going. And now look at what we're dealing with. Look at what we have. So that is one of the key factors, is not giving up. Not giving up is part of the battle, but just sitting here on our thumbs doing nothing, saying, hey, you know what? Hey, we didn't give up. We're still here. We're still here. We're going to just keep doing what we're doing. That's the problem. You have to realign. You have to change. If something's not working, you have to make it work for you. We can look at this market and say, well, you know what? We're just waiting for the market to shift. Wait till Solana hits $500 and look at where we're going to be. Or we can start thinking outside of the box. Okay, the market's not doing what we expected it to do right now. So how are we going to change that for us? Well, how about we start focusing on our network first? Let's grow that out. Let's meet new people. Let's see what they're doing. Let's see what other options we have to bring things back to this project and make it happen, rather than sit on our thumbs and wait for the market to market. And that, I think, is where the challenge comes into a lot of people. Because I've heard projects, they could be here for a while, but they're not changing anything. They're literally just sitting in the same echo chamber, doing the same thing.
Spinning their tires in the mud.
Doing nothing but spinning their tires in the mud, exactly. And, I just can't do that. If something's not working for us, we got to change it. And we got to figure out what's going to work. So that's it. That's kind of what the big thing that I see. Peanut, are you there that you can chat? Or are you at the gym, or what are you doing? I don't know if you can talk.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm just doing my best to work on listening more.
Ooh, that's a challenge. I like that. Well, if you need to or have anything to add to it, please, dude, please hop in, because I'm glad when I saw you pop up here, I know you can add to this.
Yeah, I bet you he does. I know Peanut, and I'm telling you right now, he's got something. Man, lay it on us.
Do it.
All right, so, oh my gosh, there's so much that you guys have covered. Is there do you want to point me in a direction maybe? Because there's been a lot of good stuff.
I want to know what alignments Peanut has had.
Yes.
Okay, Bubba went, and then Cody goes, yes. Wait, so were you?
He said what alignments you've had.
Oh, okay. I was like, Cody's just jumping in with yeses, not specific. Hey, what color do you like? Yes, okay. Sorry, I'm having one of those moments.
I'm fired up.
Oh, dude, I'm fired up too. It's gonna be a great week. We got everything dialed in. Man, alignment, man. I mean, there's so many different there's so many different directions. I'll actually go back to what you had said a while ago, Bubba, and maybe this kind of goes back to what alignment is for you guys. I think you had said you were at you were spending time with family, you were at some sort of family outing, and you had like that realization where it sounded like you were like rushing and kind of trying to move things along just to get back home for a space, if I heard correctly. And I think that's one of those things where, again, you said alignments. That gets me thinking about, okay, priorities, and for you, a big thing is family, and you put together that incredible post of your like. I still picture the wall of text that you put together, like read through that sucker. That thing was powerful. And then you had your photo of the whole crew there. You guys in like a circle, like super happy. Like I remember like weird like weird stuff like that. But it's just kind of like a full circle moment for me hearing you share, like, man, alignment. It gets me thinking about like Slick Rick and what he's shared on spaces with, how his wife views the space, and then that gets me thinking about Rock and MJ, how MJ kind of, you know, saw Rock in spaces, and when family was over, and he was doing spaces, and they're like, is he working? What is he doing? He's like, he's spent all these time in spaces with these dogs. Like, what, he's a dog now and he doesn't do anything else? Like, so it's kind of like a full circle moment hearing you share that earlier, you saying alignment, and realizing like, hey, where, just realizing like, where's the true alignment that we have? Like, what's most important? Where are our priorities? And so for me, I've had to look at that too. Like, what's a priority for me? I have all these different things going on in this space. We're connected to so many different communities. And honestly, it's one of those things, I don't have it all figured out. I really don't. I do my best. There's certain weeks or certain days, certain weeks where things are great and I'm locked in, and then there's certain times where, excuse me, where I get sidetracked by other things. I think other things are more important. And, like, I have to take account. I look back at the week or a couple of weeks or the month, and it's like, dang, like, I kind of I kind of got off track. Like, I wasn't in alignment with what really mattered. Like, I thought these other things that were important, they were more than what they actually were. But again, that's the part of maturing, of growing up, of realizing, again, hey, I need to be in more alignment with X, Y, and Z versus this. So, for me, it's about, hey, what are those things that matter most? You're gonna have certain things you spend a lot more time on than others, and that's where it's super important to, stay organized, plan ahead. I know List talks about this all the time. You know, writing down notes, keeping your calendar handy. Like Suburban too, he does a great job, I believe, staying aligned with what matters to him. And he's got all sorts of stuff. I mean, he's got a full army of all these depend devices and keeping track of stuff, and he's mining, and man, I mean, talk about alignment there. So I know it's a very long-winded thought, not necessarily so much about, my journey, but just I'm taking into account, other situations with other people that I know a lot of us care about. And I think in the process of witnessing and hearing what other people are actively going through, and really growing through, I should say, growing through, is that, you know, I'm able to learn from those situations too, where it's like, hey, I can correct things, I can make different choices at a pretty young age. I know you guys clown on me and say I'm younger than than I actually am, but yeah, I think it's just one of those things where, again, I have to go through that too, and I have to do a better job of taking an account and saying, hey, you know, I want to be more focused here. I want to be in alignment with these ecosystems this week, and then maybe it shifts a little bit, and then I come back. But yeah, I think it just comes down to, again, knowing what's most important, and when you know what's most important, you're gonna be in alignment with the right things. So my take on the question, and just some different observations I've had from a lot of you guys over, many days and many weeks. I don't know how I remember all the stuff that I do when it comes to some of these fine-tuned details, but I guess, hey, that's how my brain works.
No, that's well said. Well said. A couple points to that, and then if Cody, you got to add anything, you're more than welcome to. But yes, you're like half of my age anyway, and we've said this before. We know the generations growing up. It's like they just get. Don't hate me, but they get worse and worse. I'm telling you. I have those generations too, so I have to do my damnedest to keep them, forward progressing and trying to make the right decisions. But I think what I love about who we are, I look down the room here and a lot of people are space hosts. A lot of people have very good information to give to people. And I'm only speaking for myself because I can't speak for anyone else. I don't enjoy myself talking. I don't like hearing myself talking. I don't even like my voice, right? So the last thing that I want to do is sit up here and talk because I get the pleasure out of that. But what I do enjoy is taking the lessons that I've learned in life that have beat me up, that have put me down, that have, whatever it is, and try to say, hey, this is what happened to me, and this may be a way you can avoid that. And that's what I see a lot of people here are doing is we just want to help. We just want to help other people. This may be something that, I've always said this too. You're not born with what you know. You learn through your steps. You learn through your experiences. Nobody's born with all this knowledge. They dealt with it. They've had an experience, and it may have not been a good experience, but it was a lesson learned that now they can pass on if they're that type of person that want to help other people. Regina, welcome in. So I think that's the big thing is just like you said, you're taking away from a lot of this from people and try to adapt it and use it in your world where you can. And some things you can take, some things you can't. And sometimes you can talk to your blue in the face and people just aren't going to listen to you. They like to hear you, but they don't want to actually listen to you. My son, he's 20 years old, and dude, he just bought a new car, so he got a Corvette. And I'm like, don't buy a Corvette. They're not safe cars. He bought a Corvette. Don't buy that Corvette. It's a salvage title. He bought the salvage title Corvette. Don't get this loan. Do this loan. He did the other loan. Like every step of the way. And realistically, we've all been there. I've been there I traded. My first car was a 72 Mustang, 34,000 original miles. It was beautiful. And I didn't want it. I wanted a Honda CRX. Like listen to that comment, dude. It's so bad, but that's what I wanted when I was a kid. 16 years old, I wanted the big rims on it sticking out, and the old Mustang just wasn't it, And my dad was like distraught over it. But hey, I'm paying for it, so you do what you want to do. But I regretted it, absolutely. But I had to learn. I had to learn through the hard ways. So I just give my son the advice that I have, and he can take it or leave it. And some things he takes, some things he doesn't, and he'll have to learn on his own. So anyway, now Peanut, thanks for adding to that. Let's jump over because it's already 11:20. We haven't even got to topic 2. So we'll just kind of make it through what we can here. Miss Kelly, welcome in. I don't know if I missed anyone. Death Wish went down there. Brittany's in the house. Laz is in the house. Welcome in, everybody.
And Goose.
And Goose. Oh, man. Goose. Man. Welcome in. Welcome in. All right. Let's get to topic 2 because that's one I love to talk about. And to us, obviously, you guys know we made a damn album about it, so it's definitely important to us, and that's core values. I think core values are huge for alignment. When you are aligning who you are or who you want to be or who you want to be around, core values, in my opinion, are everything. So,
dude,
yeah, go ahead.
I mean, just the fact that you picked that, and I mean, obviously we didn't go into detail, but before the space, and you just shared a couple key points, it just blows my mind. Truly it does, because oh man, we're the same person sometimes. It's scary. It's scary, dude. It's so scary, but it's a blessing. I don't mean it like scary. I mean it like wow, life is really interesting at times. And man, if I may, real quick, like the fact that you say core values, it really, to understand yourself and what's important to you can put you on a better alignment, and to help your alignment in life. Because if you're surrounding yourself around people that don't jive with you, go against your core values, and it just doesn't work, same thing for your environment. Doesn't have to be people, could be your environment too, where you live just doesn't work for you in your alignment. And I feel like if you set yourself up, and then the universe will talk to you in not ways of like, Cody, you're on the right path, this is the universe speaking. It doesn't work like that. I wish it did. I wish life was that easy, but it really isn't. And it takes educating yourself to understand that, okay, what am I looking for? Feelings of comfort, feelings of self-reassurance, feelings like, okay, this feels good because these core values mean something to me. Man, I was raised with so many of these things. My grandparents, my parents, those things have value. And why are they passed down from generation to generation? Because they are important. And in your genetics, in your family, they felt they're important. Okay, well, they made it through this period of their life, and here you are, and they're passing this relevant, pertinent information on to you to help you excel and grow and carry this knowledge and pass it down too. All that is an alignment. That itself is an alignment. It's crazy, man. And it's just like a whole conversation of itself. Bubba, take it away. I had to say what I had to say there. Love you.
No, you're good, dude. Let it rip. And that's true. And I think for some people, maybe core values aren't the word. Maybe you have values. Maybe you have ways of finding the people you want to be around, and you just don't call it core values. I learned a valuable lesson the other day with your space on manifestation, manifesting. I didn't realize that, yeah, that's pretty much what I've always done. You know, I've said this story before with manifesting. I just didn't have a word for it. You know, I've heard it a million times, and I never really thought about it like the way it was broke down on that space, and it changed how I thought of that. So core values, you know, you may live by this, but you just don't know they're your core values. So if you don't know that, now you do, and now write them down, put them on a piece of paper. We do have core values here with Ninja Cat, and that's how we realigned the team and the path that we were headed, where we want to be, and who we want to be around while we're doing it. We've had multiple different opportunities to take this to different levels, or sell out, or do this or do that. It wasn't even a topic to really talk about, because we knew where our values were. We automatically landed there because of that. So core values, the big part that I found, core values are what takes emotion out of decision making. So if you're looking at a very volatile market like we're in here in Web3, if you noticed, the people that we're surrounded with, yeah, they give market updates, but they're not freaking out about everything. They're not going off the crazy deep end. You know, the market, are we here for the wrong reason? Oh, the whole market's going to crash. Everyone get out. We are surrounded by people that will give the updates. Here's where everything's at, and now we're moving on. Here's what we're building. Here's how we're bettering ourselves. Here's how we're moving forward. And it's just on to the next topic. That is a core value. That is how core values work, because you're putting yourself, you're taking that emotion out of it. You have your values, you have your idea, you have your plan, you have your path, your mission, and that's where it's at. And nothing's going to stop that from happening. So as far as realigning, I didn't know about core values younger. I wish I had. We added those into the shop, and that was probably about 5, 6, 7 years ago now. So it's been a little while. but it made such a difference, especially from a point where you have to do the hiring and firing. I'm not a great person when it comes to, I don't like firing people. It's one of the worst things I ever have to do to anybody. And there's never a good time to do it. So it's just one of those things that I don't enjoy doing. But when you here's your core values, here's who we are. Is this person fitting in that? Take emotion out. Take the fact that the guy likes to fish and hunt and he likes all the things you like to do. And man, we became buddies and we talk on the phone, or, remove all that. That's the emotion. That's the part that you make mistakes with, because I'm holding on to somebody that shouldn't be where they are. And I'm holding on to him because I'm emotionally connected to that person or that project or wherever we're headed. And that is what happens, is you get stuck in that. Well, when you have something to look at, a checklist is your core values. And you say, okay, is he honest? Yes. Is he a team player? No. Is he on time? Is he, you just follow that list down. And if you got more no's than yes, he's not supposed to be there. And you have two options. You can let things work out, because more than likely, if you really value your core values and your team does, then that person's going to work themselves out and they will be gone. Or you can now at that point say, hey, I'm going to have to let you go, and this is why. You don't fit the core values we have. You don't fit us. And that's really all it comes down to. I've now removed the emotion out of that. Same thing with trading, same thing with projects, same thing with anything you're doing. You want to remove that part of it. You want emotion, of course. Everyone wants emotion in something, but you don't want it in decision making. It's not a great time to make decisions when you have these emotions going on, like, oh man, the market's crashing, what are we doing? You can regain focus and get your alignment back by having core values.
Yeah, it's the same as relationships or, raising kids. You don't want to, blow up on them on the spot and let all the emotion come out. No, that's wrong. And I've been guilty of that, because what does that do? What's the lesson you're teaching? It's not a good lesson. It's showing that you're reacting based off of emotion. That is not something I want to pass down. It's not something that I want to practice and solidify to turn into a habit. So I'm just using that as an example. And yeah, man, beautifully said.
Oh, sorry. I'm just grabbing a drink of water real quick. I studied a lot on core values. I definitely, that's one topic, like you've talked about manifesting, and you can tell it's something you're passionate about. Core values are definitely one of my passions with things. I think it simplifies so much and just keeps you forward moving on the mission you're on. And I'm an emotional person as far as that goes. I do get attached to people. I try to find places for people. I've held employees way too long, and it's just because I didn't, I feel bad. Like I want to try to save everybody. I want to try to help as many people as we can. And it's like, man, when do you give up? When do you stop trying to help that person? And until that core values came around, I couldn't find that sweet spot. So that is one thing that I'm definitely passionate about. Go ahead, Cody. If you got anything to add to core values, add to it. And Peanut or anybody up here, Miss Kelly, Shiny, Josh.
I don't, but I'd be curious to see what Miss Kelly has to say, because
do get ingrained in people's heads, and it starts with us, with the children at home. And of course, there's like parts of your life that kids will lie, right? kids will all lie at one point because they're scared of the repercussions that come along, right? Let's not, it's part of growing up, and we all know we've been there, done that, right? You probably got in trouble. You probably hid that test score that you got at school and didn't want to show your mom. Back in the day when you had to hand in the paper and show your mom to get it signed, or whatever it was, right? Whatever the case. But that starts at home, and letting kids know, hey, it's okay. We do things, but not instilling fear, right? Because then it becomes a habit or whatever for that person to end up doing, right? Lying or cheating or stealing or whatever. But also, I remember there was a quote, and I'm not going to be able to say it right because I kind of forget it. First time you do it for me, and then I forget how it goes. Like, teach me and I'll learn how to do it or whatever. Oh gosh, I forget how it goes. But
there's quite a few of them. You can lead a horse to water. You got the fishing one where you can teach a man to fish. Yeah, is that where you're going at?
Now I gotta find it. Now it's gonna eat my brain until I find it, and I'm going to put it in the comment section shortly. But yeah, it's just, you're right. And sometimes, look, everybody's teaching style, learning style is different, right? Part of teaching is visual or just audio or physically doing and all these other things. And sometimes, I'll say this, sometimes people don't have the right job and they better fit somewhere else, right? It doesn't make them a bad employee. It's just they're not where they're supposed to be. And that could be the fact for many things. Or one time I had a person say, oh, don't put them in this position because, they won't do a great job. I'm like, how do you know? Like, how do you want somebody to learn if you haven't given them the chance, right? Or, when you see a position and they want you with experience, like, bro, how am I going to, how are you going to fill that position when there's not many experienced people or something like that? You got to give somebody a chance. And how do you measure that chance, right? Measuring somebody's ability, like, do you give them a 3-month grace period to get to learn the position? Is it too hard to learn? It's figuring all those details. How am I going to teach this person? Okay, one time I show them how to do it. Third time it's like you tell them how you do it, and they got to perform the job. And then third, it's like, how do you perform to make sure that they're doing the right thing or doing the right job? So I just wanted to say those points.
No, I think that was it kind of segue us into the next topic, which is perfect. So we go from core values into the family and home life and all that, which is exactly what you touched on, because that is huge. I mean, the values, like, I don't call them core values to my kids, but we have values. We have definitely, I don't think my kids hate me. I always joke about that, but it's like, I am always, because that's how my mind works. My mind always works in the sense of saying, okay, how is what I'm seeing, how can I relate to that in my life? How can I apply that to my life? And will it benefit my life? And that's how I see moments that happen. I had a post the other day, and I was on, I've heard this saying multiple times, and then I was on Wealthy G Space, and it really just, for some reason, that instant just clicked in my head. And that was, comparison is the biggest killer of joy. And, yes, we know what it means. Like, quit comparing yourself to somebody else and enjoy what you have, and then that weekend we took the kids hunting, and my nieces and nephews are there, and my twins are trying everything they can to get my nephew, which is like a 4-year-old boy, to love them. Like, they want to be his favorite, right? And they're fighting for every bit of attention that they can. And they're like, I don't know why he's not liking me. I've been doing everything with him today. And it just, dawned on me how early that saying can really make a difference, And it's like constantly trying to compare. Well, he loves this person more, or he likes this person more, or this person has more than me. We hear it all the time. Well, so-and-so's got an iPhone 17. Well, good for so-and-so. But I did it as a kid myself. So-and-so has this, so-and-so has that. And that kind of led into, the manifesting part. See, my parents didn't my parents didn't put up with that. Like, it's like, okay, then go live with them. I think that we've all heard that saying. But I'll never forget, I had a fishing pole that I wanted. My buddy got a new fishing pole, and man, I wanted that fishing pole. So I came home, and I'm like, hey, can I get a new fishing pole? And they're like, no, you have one in the garage. It's fine. Yeah, but Mike got a new fishing pole, and it's this new ultralight. Okay, well, good for Mike. And I'm like, well, I want one, you know. So it came down to 2 lessons learned. A, I'm not going to get what Mike got. B, if I want to get what Mike got, I got to figure out how to do it myself. And I ended up selling sand dollars door to door. And the first day that I did it, I had $10 extra. So on top of getting the fishing pole, I had extra money. And that was kind of my first life lesson of me going back as far as I can remember of what I have manifested to make happen. I wanted that fishing pole. My mom wasn't going to get it for me. My dad wasn't going to get it for me. So who else can I look to get it? It was me. And I had to figure it out, and that's what happened. So that's kind of how I've always moved through life, is just, you know, I just never had a word for it. But I think that's huge what you touched on, Miss Kelly, about family. And that's a very tough thing to get into. I mean, I could host a whole space about family, and nobody's right, nobody's wrong. I mean, I guess there's some pretty wrong things, but for the most part, as a parent, you do what you feel is best, and you hope it works out. You know, I have young kids and I have older kids, and I feel like my older kids, they've done good. So I feel like I've done good. You know, I did what I needed to do, and you know, and that's all you can hope for. But it's tough. It definitely is. But you were 100% right. A lot of this starts at home, and parents have just started to rely on electronics and everything else to parent except for being a parent. And that's a difficult thing to face. So very good point there. Cody, do you want to take away on the last topic? I don't think we're going to make it to 4, which 4 was just kind of a wrap up of the whole space, and then we'll just open up the floor. Last topic was just about personal life, home life. You know, how can you realign yourself and change things?
So what do you want me to touch on with that?
You know, how have you had to shift, not Web3 related, but just life in general? What pivotal moments have you had to make to say, just like Miss Kelly brought up, I'm not at the right job. I'm not. Yeah, you get where I'm going.
Oh man, too perfect. Okay, quick. I'll try and make this quick. So, 4 years ago in May, I went in and seen a psychologist, and after about a month and a half or so, got hit with the diagnosis that I can no longer work law enforcement. So all the visions and dreams I had to continue with that career came to a stop. Now, everything that I've known in my life has pretty well been around being in uniform. So, man, it was at that point where I had to realize, okay, well, you have to do something. And while I continued through therapy, and I really started to, you know, understand that, hey, this environment's not for me. That's why I said that earlier. And I was out west. All my family's been out east. And ever since I moved away from home out here on the East Coast, out west, 25 years. 25 years I was just dreaming at the opportunity of, how am I going to get home? Oh, well, how am I going to have the money? Oh, well, how am I going to do this? Oh, how am I going to do that? And I created roadblocks because I subconsciously told myself that I can't do it because of this excuse, that excuse, and that excuse. When I started to change my thinking and started to align my thinking more appropriately to the vision and the belief that, yeah, I can make it happen. After the 2 years of learning how to do this and have the tools, so that was after the 2 years, yeah. And then 2 years later, here I am, almost 2 years being home, have property, and I'm not done, you know. The property, you know, I'm so grateful, man. I'm so grateful that I was able to pay for that in cash, and then have the road done in cash, and then just keep going and keep expanding on that. And I spent pretty well a year being home here, isolating, like literally in the middle of nowhere. Very small community at the lake here, pretty high altitude compared to the rest of the province. Mind you, it wasn't until last March of just this year, 2025, I'll take it a step back. Web3, leading up to that, has really offered me a lot of insight and the understanding of community and the importance of relationships and networking, and that retaught me all the things that I knew. It just rekindled something in me. So I became a member of a community, and now I'm doing community breakfasts. I'm doing things that reflect my core values of who I am and how I was raised. And since doing so, I just feel so good about the things that I do. And I don't ask anything for doing it. I just do it because it feels good and it's right. And I feel like if you can go about life and do that, and you just, when you feel this feeling like, oh, I did this, no one needs to know that I did what I did today, but I'm proud and I feel good about it. I just feel like that gratitude that you're not asking for anything, and the universe just opens itself up to you, and good things come. Really, it does when you give selflessly. And man, it's a deep one for me. So grateful. I realize I'm so self-conscious now, because when I listen to my space over from last Thursday, I realize how much I say but I realize I'm pausing because my mind races so fast. And the words, when you speak, words is language, and language to articulate a thought is, it's deep, man, because our minds just move so fast and in such depth that you're trying to create depth and perception to thoughts. It's fascinating. And this way of thinking that I have, I wasn't always like this. This is just something I've kind of evolved into, and it feels so good. It's an enlightenment. I'm very, very, very grateful, very humbled to be around leaders and builders in Web3, people that will offer resources, tools, education, lift you up. If you're just there, you make yourself present. You never know what you're gonna learn, who you're gonna learn from, and it's real life information you can apply to IRL. Doesn't have to be Web3, and that's the beauty about it. That's what I love about this so much, is it's like cross-platform. It's for an example, if you're an Xbox guy, you can play with a PlayStation guy, or an Xbox guy and a PlayStation and PC guy, and you guys can all play together, even though you're so interested in Xbox games and you're so interested in PC games, but there's a game you can play together, and that's cross-platform, where you guys have different software, same game, but it allows you to connect and be together. Web3 to me is like a cross platform connection in a way, where so many people have resources and tools and they bring it together, and yeah, and you hear other people's core values and what life means to them, and hearing people's perspectives. Man, that's a big one. We know the things we know through life, but when you hear the same things that you believe in different words from a different perspective, it can be so eye-opening and so humbling and such an experience. And you could just look at it and be like, huh, I never looked at it that way. But I just love the way that you shared that, because it just resonated with me. It hit me. And I feel good about what I'm doing now because of how you displayed that, or how you articulated that. It just sounds better than I can do. And there's a lot of people in the space that do that, and I admire so much. I'm so grateful to be around them. One of them was in here. He's gone now, so I'm going to pump his tires right up to the moon. Let's go. Slick Rick, such a mentor, such a leader, somebody
He's
that...
still here.
Oh, is he? I don't...
Yeah, he changed his PFP.
What a bugger. Oh, yeah, he did.
He's camouflaging over there.
He is camouflage. I thought he was
I
gone.
had to say that. Sorry. I had
No,
to.
yeah, good call.
He's working at McDonald's now.
I love that, man. The Redonalds. Love that. Again, prime example. And it's a blessing. Truly it is. We have what we're taught as kids. We have what we learn through life. And nothing is stopping you from reaching out to somebody who just you feel safe with, you can resonate with, and they just have a wealth of untapped knowledge. But if they're a good friend and you're supportive and you're there, chances are they're going to share some alpha with you. And just make yourself present. Just be there. And one thing that I love, I'm just going to say a little off topic that he said, and it really, really hit a string with me, is try and find those spaces in Web3 where you can learn from. We all like to hang out. We all like to socialize. This is a part of being human. But if you want to build and you want to grow, find the spaces where you can learn and educate yourself. And that's been my mission. Ever since I heard that, I'm like, okay, it's time for me to switch things up. Enough with the hangouts, enough with the endless shills, this and that. No offense if that's people's, game plan. Cool. If that works for you, great. But for me and my vision and my mission, I want to learn. I want to grow. I'm hungry. I'm out here to improve personal development and what I stand for and what I believe in and what I'm manifesting. And in order to do that, I need to surround myself with like-minded people and be in those spaces where I can learn and grow. That's what I got, Bubba.
That's perfect, dude. Perfect. Yeah, that's what we've talked about, and that's just part of the realignment. It's like, man, this isn't working, so where do we shift to? What are we doing? And I think that's part of the growth that happens is, it's not accepting no for an answer. It's not accepting that, hey, this isn't working doesn't mean the project's over or Web3 is over for us or any of that. It just means, we move on and we adapt to something different. We try something different. We have to do that all the time, especially when you're creating content or anything you're doing. It's like, man, okay, that didn't work. Let's try this. No, it's perfect, dude. And you touched on, doing things for yourself. I always struggle with that. Like, I don't think there's really much that I would do, and I would do it to gloat about it or brag about it later, or if I give money to somebody or if I do anything like that, it's not going to be on the case to say, okay, this gives me a reason to go post on Facebook or something. Hey, this is what I just did today, or set up a camera and here, let me help you out, but let me set this camera up first and do it. I've never found that to be important, but it's good to hear, just like you explained it. Here's why I do what I do. But it's good to get that out there. If I have good November, December months, I got all my Christmas shopping done. Things are going good for me, and I can help somebody financially that may be struggling. Or, I've been in the line at Walmart with the mom in front of me, single mom, and her card declines, and it's like, man, it's $80. Put it on my bill, call it a day, and move on. They're not something that you just want to run home and brag about, but it's good to bring up every once in a while to people, because it's like, man, that gives them that thought to say, you know what? Why can't I never really thought of that I could do that. I could help somebody out that way, because it can change it could change a life. It could change a night for sure, a day. So it's good to get those stories out if the reasoning's correct behind it. Especially with kids. I think it's so important to do things like that in front of your kids. And that's a scenario where I do feel like you do want somebody to see it, and that somebody is your kids. You want them to witness what it's like to help somebody else. And hopefully as they get older, they'll see those things and they'll subconsciously do them themselves. So Great points that you brought up there. I think we'll start wrapping it up. It's almost midnight. We're at the 2 hour mark, so let's get some final words in. I got to get over to Shiny real quick too. And a great space tonight. I know that the X algorithm was playing with me all day. I posted so many posts today and they got no views. So this space was one of those. I knew it probably wasn't going to be a huge space, but the people that are here, I love, respect, and these are people that I align with and that I want to grow with. And just like Cody was saying, man, we've shifted that. We've shifted that mindset, and the values that we're finding now are coming from really honing in on networking and meeting the right people. And it's not, I don't want to meet anybody and take away and look at it and say, okay, I want you to buy Ninja Cat. We're putting ourselves around the people that are helping ourselves grow as well. If we're growing, Ninja Cat's growing. If Ninja Cat's growing, we're growing. It's just it's a revolving door that's happening. And we have been focusing, especially Cody. Cody's been focusing a lot on Cody. Not that there's no focus on Ninja Cat, but what I realize and what I know is that Cody improving himself only improves us as well. And it just goes right back around. It's an evolving door. So these connections that we've been making, the networking that we've been doing, they've been nothing but exceptional, phenomenal, and life-changing in my Web3 experience. So it just really has changed. It has realigned where we're headed. And that's why I think this was a great space to have. So let's go around the room. Let me jump over to Shiny real quick. Shiny, how you doing? She's probably in like 8 spaces right now. I held her off too long. All right, Shiny, if you do come back, just start talking. We'll get you in. Josh, let's go to you and we'll start wrapping this up.
Is this just like a wrap up, or is this still about the realignment? Sorry.
I mean, if you got something you want to add to it. If you don't, just we'll start giving our closing statements for the night.
I don't really have the most uplifting, heartwarming answer. I'm still kind of in the middle of realigning right now with my life.
Love that though.
So I could get into that if you guys want, or we could just wrap it up because I don't really have
Get into it.
a nice way to wrap.
Get into it.
All right, fine. Man, something about me, and I think it's just a trait of being ADHD, is whenever I love something, whenever I start to like it, I go all in and I get super immersed in it. I eat, sleep, breathe it. And Ninja Cat was that for me. And I got to kind of like an unhealthy point where I was staying up till like 4 a.m. sometimes, just responding to people and then going to work at 7 a.m. And it got to a point for me where it was affecting my marriage and it was affecting my work. Like I'm a boss, like I'm responsible for people, and I'm like tucking away, hiding from people to be with Ninja Cat and on different spaces and stuff. Like during the day, I'm listening to spaces en route to calls sometimes and putting a headset in my ear, like stuff that I should not be doing. But that's just me. Like I love things and I go all in, and that's all I can think about. And I got to a point where not only am I just super busy with everything, I'm part of like 5 or 6 different committees with my fire department. And I'm some pretty high up stuff where like a lot of people look to me for things, and I'm just constantly busy with all that. And then I'm stuck on overtime, and then I'm coming home, and the time that I'm giving to my family, I'm on my phone. And so I just kind of got to this point where I started realizing that I need to realign myself a little bit. And that doesn't mean that I don't love everybody here or that I think anything less of Ninja Cat. It's just whenever I have time for Ninja Cat, I will give everything to that, and I I've figured out that I just need to in boxes of time give what I can to Ninja Cat, but not make it like an all day thing where that's all I'm doing and I'm taking away from everything else. So I'm still trying to figure that out right now, and I apologize to anybody if they feel like
Nope.
I've faded away, and I appreciate Bubba and Cody for your grace through this process because I'm not anywhere near as active as I used to be, and I'm
Dude,
aware of that, and I want to be. Like, I love everything about this. I just have to figure out a balance with my life and with my work and with this to try to make it all sustainable.
okay.
And the way I was going was not healthy. So appreciate you guys for hearing me out, and I felt like I needed to get that off my chest since we're on the point of realignment right now. And I feel like I always had an excuse of why I'm not here or anything. And I just hope people realize when I'm here, I'm here. I love you guys. I love everybody. I love Ninja Cat. I'm not fading away. I know a lot of people have faded away because they're losing faith or whatever, like anybody always does. I feel the same about Ninja Cat as I did from day one. I just have to figure out how to box my time better, if that makes sense. So I'm in the middle of realigning now to figure out how to make this all work the best way I can.
Josh, first and foremost, anybody listening, he's a first responder. He works shift work. I understand that lifestyle, and he's in a leadership role. Josh is a captain. Okay? Josh won't tell you that, but I'll tell you that. Josh is a leader in his profession, and Josh is somebody that I admire and I love deeply because he's such a genuine dude. Straight shooter, no BS. And dude, your schedule's all over the place. And I know that there's a lot of people counting on you to be sharp and be present in the moment because you're running into situations where people run from, and you're running into, trauma, accidents, um, respiratory issues, the cat in the tree, all these scenarios. And you don't know what you're running into until you get that call, and you still don't know what you're expecting until you get there and you assess the situation. Um, I I'm just so grateful, man. It just makes me feel so good to have somebody a part of this community that has that knowledge, that background, that sense of valor, that sense of professionalism, and that sense of pride, and another uniform. It's just, man, I'm so grateful for that, and I'm grateful for you because even when you're here, even if it's for 5 minutes, brother, every time you speak, it's just so raw and so real. And that's something that I do not take for granted, and I cherish every minute, dude. And nobody here is going to fault you for not being here. The people that have the time will be here, and that's okay, dude. Everybody's schedule is different. I have more time now. Baba has the time that he has, and that's okay. We make it work. But you know what? That doesn't mean we're not a team, man. Nonetheless, what you're able to contribute is what you're able to contribute. It's your best at the time, and that is completely okay. You know, everybody has different things that they can add to the table with different amounts of time that they have available to them. I do not ever want you to think that you're anything less or contributing less. It's not about that, man. We're brothers. This is a community, and man, it kind of it hurts to hear that. I'm proud of you for sharing how you feel because that's vulnerability, and I respect that a lot, man. Big time. Just proud of you, dude. Very, very proud of you. And family is important. Family's number one, 100%. And your health is very important. Faith is important. These are all things that are important to me. And the fact that you prioritize these things and you're figuring out your alignment, a lot of people go through a rough, rocky life before they figure that out, dude. And I feel like you're steps ahead of a lot of people in this world, dude. Just by hearing what you shared, you need to give yourself some recognition for that, brother.
Man, I appreciate the heck out of you, and I respect you like none other. Like, you're like a brother, honestly. And people in my real life don't understand that kind of relationship because we've never met and you're online and everything. But man, I really do feel like you're a brother of mine, you and Bubba both. And I respect you guys and I appreciate everything. So thank you.
Man, I'm glad you got it out. For sure. I mean, I never felt. We saw a lot of people fade. I think, any project that's been around, that's seen its ups and downs, it's part of the deal. But I never felt like I can look at certain people and be like, yeah, they're slowly drifting away. No problem. We continue on. I never felt that way with you. Never had that feeling. Never, Josh is not here again. You're here when you're here. You're here when you can be here. You're here when you're not supposed to be here. And you're doing exactly what you need to do. And that's just finding that balance. Sometimes to find the balance and realign, the pullback is hard. And you go too hard one way, and then you're already going hard one way, and you pull back to the other way, and you go too far that way, and that's that balance. That's where we found our sweet spot. Here's where it is. For me, I'm in that sweet spot. I've discussed opening up more spaces and trying to do something a little more with my wife. It's been a topic. And again, that's part of the evolution of things. It's like, hey, I might have to step up a little more around this time. I might have to change this. I might have to do that. But at the end of the day, I have said this a million times. I'm nothing without my family behind me. And if I don't have my family behind me, there's no point of doing what I'm doing. So I love you. I love everybody here, but that is my number one. That is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And, as my kids get older, this can be something that they can work themselves into. And I want to leave behind something that's positive and something that's we've created something that gave hope to people and helped people and made something of it. My daughter, I posted a post tonight and she made this Ninja Cat gingerbread man. And it's like, it wasn't the fact that she wanted to do Ninja Cat was just awesome to me. But then it's the other fact of like, she is proud to go to school and show this Ninja Cat and the community that we've built and the stuff that we brought to the table. And that's the balance that you have to learn, because there's a balance of annoying them so much that they just don't want to hear any more about it. And then there's the balance of they're proud and they're happy to be part of it. And it looks different for every person out there. That is definitely a different look. So I appreciate you definitely spilling the beans on that. I did revoke your admin privileges on the Telegram. I can't have you not showing it.
Nah, I get it, man. I mean, you spent thousands of dollars on this project and you haven't sold a penny. But I guess that goes nowhere, but okay, it's fine.
It's all good. It's all good. Dumped. No, I'm just playing. Of course not. But no, that's true. I've never felt like you were faded. Never felt like you were. I knew. We all knew. If you're close enough to you know what you're trying to do, what you're trying to figure out. We're here for it. Whatever you need, and obviously, you're here when you can be here, and that's all we can ask for, and that's all we love. So, like Cody said, man, it's raw. It's real. You've always been straight up and honest with everything and why you're stuck around, why you're here still. And that's the best that we can ask, I give out. So we've got early on when we kind of realigned and became the team we are now. We brought in a few outside investors. They didn't know much about crypto, but they knew me and they wanted to invest in that. So once a month, I send them, 3 paragraphs of updates. Here's where we are. Here's where everything goes. I don't think I've ever actually had a conversation other than here's the update and then a thumbs up emoji or looks good. Thanks for the update. And that's the type of commitment we get is just, hey, do your thing. I'm in no rush. we're here for it. Like, this is what we signed up for. 5 years, 10 years, it doesn't matter. I think it's just the fact that my updates are full of passion. My updates are full of joy. My updates are just happy things that, hey, this is what we've accomplished, and that's what puts a smile on their face, so they're happy for it. But anyway, I'm running out of my voice here, so let me jump over. Josh, I appreciate you sharing that. Let me jump over to Peanut real quick, and we'll get some closing statement. I'm going to move over to my phone so I can play us a song out of here. Peanut, are you there? I saw you an emoji a second ago.
Yeah, I'm.
Okay, hold on real quick before you do your closeouts, because I'm gonna switch over to my phone, which I'm gonna close the stream down. So, everyone that joined the Twitch, everyone that joined the TikTok, the YouTube, we appreciate you guys. Thank you for the support over there. And we're going to shut that down now, and we'll just be on our space here.